Hello, it's Mr. H, and I just wanted to welcome you to another one of the first videos from Howell Creations. The focus of today's video is going to be on how do you sign up for a CK12 account. So I am making this with some of my students in mind, but also for any other educators out there who have students that are going to be signing up for new online platforms. I know sometimes the sign up process can get a little hairy, so I wanted to make a video and give you step-by-step instructions as well as go through some of the features of CK12 once we actually create an account. So what I've done ahead of time is email out the message that you would receive. So if you're a student, you might get an email like this from your teacher. It's generic. CK12 generates it automatically, but the teacher has the option of just sharing out the class code or sharing out the full link. In any case, the link itself contains the class code too, so really you just need to pay attention to that class code just like you do for all of the other online platforms that you use. So I'm going to go ahead and click this link and we're going to get started. So when you get to CK12, as with most websites that are modernizing, you have the opportunity to sign in with Google, with Facebook. They actually include Twitter and Microsoft as well. In the case of my district, we have Google emails, so I'm going to go with sign in with Google. And it should give you different options based off whichever email that you have already used on your computer. In the case of my students, and I would imagine for most students out there, we generally want you to use your school email, especially if we're going to link this through Google Classroom, or we want to actually be able to contact you through the same email address. It's good just to use one email address all the time, and typically your student email would be that one. So I'm going to go ahead and click this, the Howell Creations email. So now it says it looks like we don't have a CK12 account associated with this social profile. Would you like to create one? And you get to say, are you a student or are you a teacher? I'm going to say I'm a student. Create account. So it says account created. Congratulations, Tanner, your account has been created. So I'm going to click continue. And automatically, because I use that link, it puts me right into the class. And this is sort of like your starting dashboard. It'll default to this anytime you go into CK12. It is your home tab. And you'll notice right here from the beginning on the left side going down, you have home, you have your assignments, you have reports, you have Q&A, shared resources, members, and settings. So assignments is where you're going to spend most of your time because that's where any assignments that you have will populate. So you can click assignments and you'll see here that they have the start date, they have the due date, assignment name, and whether or not they're active or inactive, and they'll let you know if you've actually attempted it already or not. If you click reports, this gives you an overview of how you've done on the assignments so far. This is a feature that I personally like. Platforms like Google Classroom give you the ability to put comments, but sometimes it's hard to actually communicate with students because I find that whenever I'm replying, it's like I'm communicating with the whole class unless I want to go send a direct message. Well, in the case of CK12, they actually have a Q&A section. So I could come to the Q&A section, and notice since this is the first time I've used it, they actually pop up a tutorial to walk me through it. But it says, have a question for your class, want to share something you've learned, you can start or join a discussion, and you can get answers outside of class time. So I'm going to put okay, show me now, and this is just giving you an option, just an example of something that you could use. What is considered the base of a triangle? You could enter that, you could actually do a question like that if you're not sure, and that could go out to the whole class. You could actually come here and your teacher could actually give you an assignment though and be like, hey, I want you to give me a response and I want you to post it in here in the form of a question. Regardless though, this gives you a way to post a question And then if I come in as the teacher, I can go through the Q&A section from my end and answer any of the questions. It does give you this anonymous button. From what I can tell, the teacher has to enable that, but if I were to enable it, for example, then that means you could click anonymous and it would post the question, but the class wouldn't know who asked it. So that's just there in case you're worried about maybe if you're prone to being embarrassed or you don't want other students to know what you're asking, you could post it anonymously. So I'm going to click post. And it says, okay, now what happens? And this is just walking you through and it's showing you so you can add a comment. Anyone in the class can leave a comment, question, or answer. Okay. Shared resources is kind of interesting. Basically, if your teacher comes across a resource that they like, so on CK12 that could be like a study guide, that could be something to read. It could even be like an article or something that was found on the internet. You can go to shared resources and it will show you things that your teacher has assigned. It may not necessarily be an assignment, but it would be something you could use. So in the case of this is a geometry class, and something that I shared was properties of a circle. So if you click that, it brings up one of the study guides that CK12 has on properties of a circle. You can actually print this. It even has spaces on the side where you can 3-hole punch it, and you could have a paper copy. You could save it as a PDF on your computer or your phone, iPad, whatever you're using. And in this case, I could see sharing like articles that go along with different assignments. I could see sharing maybe even answer documents, like if we had a quiz or something and I wanted to share like answers as a teacher, I could put that there. So a lot of options. And then last but not least, we have members. This lets you see who the admins are. Teachers can invite co-teachers, so you could have other teachers up here as well, and this will also show you what other students are in there with you. And then last but not least, if we go down to settings, this just lets you as the student choose whether or not you receive email notifications. I would strongly recommend you leave those on, because in most cases teachers want you to know when something gets posted, when something gets shared, when you actually get a response to your Q&A. So I would leave these on. If you leave them off, or if you turn them off, then that's just kind of creating a scenario where in the future you may wind up having to explain to people why you turned it off when you know it's expected that you be on top of your assignment. So just leave that on. So this concludes sort of like my just little intro tutorial to CK12. There's a lot more to it than that, but I just want to make sure that people understand at least how they can get on and navigate. Hey guys, it's Mr. H, and I hope you enjoyed the video, and I just wanted to take the time to let you know that I really would appreciate your feedback. These are the early stages of my videos, and everybody's input counts. So if you have any comments, please leave them. Feel free to subscribe. Feel free to share some love, share the videos, and until next time, keep learning.